Hey everyone, ready to jump into the world of wire-haired dachshunds with us?
Always up for a good dog deep dive.
Me too. Especially with this breed. We've got some great sources to pull from today.
Oh, yeah. What are we looking at?
Well, we've got excerpts from a breed description, always good for a basic overview,
Love those.
and a more detailed guide from Dog Academy. Really thorough stuff.
Nice. So are we going to uncover, like, all the secrets of the wire-haired dachshund?
I think so. I mean, get ready for some surprises. These dogs, let me tell you.
What? They're more than just cute faces.
Way more. I'm telling you, they're not just miniature hot dogs with eyebrows.
Okay, you got me intrigued. Lay it on me.
By the end of this, you'll know all about their history, how they look, that unique temperament.
And maybe even convince me to get one.
Maybe. We'll even get into some special care tips, things you gotta know if you're thinking about bringing one home.
Sounds like we've got a lot to cover.
We do. But first, history.
Always a good place to start.
Right. Both our sources say, no surprise, these pups are originally from Germany.
Germany makes sense.
And their name kind of gives away their original job, doesn't it?
Dachs means badger, right?
You got it. And Hund means dog. So yeah, these little guys. Fearless badger hunters.
I mean, they are kind of fierce looking, in a cute way.
Right. But here's the thing. The wire-haired dachshunds is actually a newer variety
Ew, them what?
than their smooth-coated cousins. Like, they came on the scene a bit later.
That is interesting. Why'd they decide to develop them then?
Well, our sources say it was back in the 19th century. Breeders wanted a dachshund that was even tougher.
Tougher. For hunting, you mean?
Exactly. Like, able to handle rough terrain, dense undergrowth,
No.
going after those badgers.
Oh, I see. So they needed a coat that could withstand all that.
You got it. So they started experimenting, crossing those smooth dachshunds with some wire-haired terrier breeds.
Which ones?
Well, definitely the German wire-haired pinscher. Maybe even the Dandy Dinmont Terrier got in the mix.
Interesting. So that's where they get that wiry coat from.
That's it. And that brings us to their, what makes them stand out, their appearance.
The wiry coat, right.
Oh, it's more than just wiry. It's like rough, almost bristly.
And let's not forget about that awesome mustache they've got going on.
Oh, yeah, that mustache is iconic. And don't even get me started on the colors.
Lots of variety there.
Tons. Reds, blacks, chocolates, creams, fawns, even grays. You name it. And combinations, too.
So basically, a wire-haired dachshund for every personality.
Exactly. Speaking of personality, let's talk temperament.
All right, let's hear it. What are these little guys like?
Well, both our sources agree. They share those classic dachshund traits, independent, stubborn.
Oh, I've heard about their stubborn streak.
Definitely have a mind of their own. But also energetic, protective of their family, and super loyal.
Sounds like a lot packed into a small package.
It is, but that terrier ancestry, it adds something extra.
Like what? More energy?
That too. But they're also known to be the most outgoing and playful of all the dachshund varieties.
Really? More than the smooth or long-haired?
That's what they say. That terrier spirit really comes through.
I'm starting to see why people fall for these dogs.
Right. They've got that unique blend going on.
So it's like a double dose of personality.
You could say that. But there's another interesting tidbit about their temperament.
Okay, what is it?
They're actually less prone to anxiety than other dachshunds.
Really? That's a plus?
It is. But they can be a bit more reactive to, sudden changes.
Like what kind of changes?
Thunderstorms, unexpected noises, stuff like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So apartment dwellers might want to keep that in mind.
It's definitely something to consider, especially because, remember that energy level we talked about?
Oh yeah, these guys are active.
They need those daily walks, playtime, a good game of fetch. Keeps them happy and out of trouble.
Out of trouble? What kind of trouble are we talking here?
Well, imagine a bored, wire-haired dachshund. Not a pretty picture.
Okay, you've got my attention. What kind of mischief do they get into?
Think digging, chewing, barking, you name it. They'll find ways to entertain themselves.
I guess you can't really blame them. They were bred to dig, right?
Exactly. That instinct's hardwired into them. So, yeah, a bored, wire-haired, recipe for disaster.
So it's not just about walks around the block. They need more, right?
They do. They need mental stimulation, too. Puzzle toys, training sessions, even hide and seek indoors.
So they're smart dogs.
Super intelligent and eager to learn, which is a good thing because remember that barking we mentioned?
Oh yeah, that terrier heritage, right?
It comes out loud and clear. They can be pretty vocal, especially when things change around them. Doorbell, someone approaching.
So training's going to be important.
It is. And, they are intelligent and quick learners, but...
But There's always a but.
That stubborn streak we talked about, it can make training interesting.
Interesting, good, or interesting, challenging?
A bit of both, honestly. You'll need patience, consistency, and a good sense of humor.
So even for experienced dog owners, it might be a bit tricky.
I think so, yeah. They've got a mind of their own and like to test boundaries.
But that's also part of what makes them so charming.
Exactly. It's that combo of intelligence and independence keeps you on your toes.
So we've covered history, appearance, temperament.
But there's still so much to talk about. We haven't even gotten to their care needs yet.
And the big question, are they the right dog for you? Lots to discuss when we come back.
We'll dive into all that after the break, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're back and ready to get into some of those care details for wire-haired dachshunds.
I'm ready. I bet people think that wiry coat means a ton of grooming.
Oh, for sure. I know I did it first. But it's not as high maintenance as you'd think, right?
Right. The Dog Academy guide actually says weekly brushing is usually enough.
Wow, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, pretty manageable. Although, of course, you got to brush more during shedding season.
Which is when spring and fall.
Exactly. Spring and fall. Got to keep those loose hairs under control.
Makes sense. So besides that, I'm guessing it's the usual stuff, like dental care, nail trims, ear checks.
Yep, all the basics. Can't forget those for any dog, really.
Right, of course. But with these guys, we got to circle back to that energy level.
Oh, yeah. We can't let that slide. That's huge for their care.
The guide really emphasized that, like physical exercise, essential for these dogs.
Absolutely. And it's not just about, burning off energy. It's about preventing,
Unwanted behavior. You mentioned mischief before the break.
oh, they can get into all sorts of trouble if they're bored.
Like what kind of trouble? Paint us a picture.
Think digging, chewing, barking, you name it, they'll find a way.
So basically, if they don't get enough exercise...
They'll find their own ways to entertain themselves.
Mm.
And you might not like those ways.
So we're not just talking about walks around the block here. They need more, right?
Way more. Mental stimulation is key, too. Those brains need a workout.
Give us some examples. What can we do to keep them mentally stimulated?
Puzzle toys are great. Training sessions, too, they love to learn new things.
Even just playing hide and seek inside can be a good workout for their brains, right?
Exactly. Anything that makes them think, that challenges them a bit.
Okay, so we've got physical exercise, mental stimulation. What about diet? What does the guide say about feeding a wire-haired dachshund?
Well, like most dogs, they need a balanced diet, high-quality food.
There's always a but. What's the catch?
Some wire-haired dachshunds can have sensitive stomachs. Got to be careful there.
So finding the right food might take some trial and error.
Yeah, you might have to experiment a bit to see what agrees with them best.
And portion control. Super important, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah. Got to watch those portions. Those pleading eyes can be tough to resist, but...
Overfeeding can lead to all sorts of problems.
Exactly. Especially weight problems. And that can be really risky for dachshunds.
Because of their long backs, right?
Right. Their backs are already prone to issues, so extra weight just adds stress.
Speaking of health issues, the guide did mention a few things to watch out for.
Yeah, they did. Some things that are more common in wire-haired dachshunds.
Like what?
Well, they mentioned angular limb deformities. I have to admit I'm not super familiar with that.
Me neither. What is that exactly?
It's a bunch of conditions that affect how their legs develop. Can cause bowing, twisting.
Oh, wow, that sounds serious.
It can be. Yeah, it can lead to pain, problems moving around. It's definitely something to talk to your vet about.
Especially if you're getting a puppy, I'd imagine.
Absolutely. Early detection and treatment can make a huge difference.
So regular vet checkups, those are key.
They are, especially in those early years. Got to catch things early.
So what other health concerns did they mention?
Mitral valve disease. That affects the heart.
Okay, serious stuff.
Yeah, and dry eye. That can cause discomfort, even problems seeing.
And of course, we can't forget those sensitive tummies we talked about earlier.
Right. Those can be a recurring issue. So yeah, even though these dogs are generally healthy.
They do have some predispositions.
Exactly. So regular vet checkups, those are essential. Can't stress that enough.
Okay, so we've covered their history, appearance, that big personality, and now these essential care needs.
We've really gone in depth.
But I think now it's time for the big question. Is this the right breed for you?
That's the question everyone wants answered, isn't it? And it's tough because...
There's no one-size-fits-all answer. It really depends on your lifestyle.
Exactly. What you're looking for in a dog, your experience.
So based on what we've learned so far, who do you think would be a good fit for a wire-haired dachshund?
Well, I think first and foremost, you got to be an active person, someone who enjoys being outside.
Well, if you're a couch potato, this is probably not the breed for you.
Probably not, no.
Probably not.
These dogs need walks, playtime, exploration. They need to burn off that energy.
And what about training? We talked about their stubbornness.
Oh, you got to be willing to put in the time and effort for training. And socialization, too.
So would you say even experienced dog owners might find it challenging to train a wire-haired dachshund, I mean?
I would say so, yeah. They're smart, but they definitely have a mind of their own, like to test you a bit.
And they like to test boundaries, right? We talked about that.
Oh, yeah, they'll push those boundaries for sure.
Yeah.
But that's also, part of their charm.
Right. That's what makes them so unique.
Exactly. It's that intelligence, that independence. They keep you on your toes.
So active, intelligent, stubborn, full of personality. What else should we think about? When it comes to finding the right home for a wire-haired dachshund, I mean...
Well, the guy did mention they can be good with kids.
Yeah.
Families with children.
Okay, that's good to know. But there are some caveats.
Of course. Supervision is always key, especially with young kids. Wire-haired dachshunds can be a bit protective.
Right, and they might not always tolerate roughhousing. We've got to set them up for success.
Exactly. Everyone in the family needs to understand their needs, their boundaries.
So it sounds like wire-haired dachshunds can be amazing dogs, but...
But you got to go into it with realistic expectations. They're not for everyone.
they're definitely a breed that requires commitment.
But for the right person, the right family, they can be an amazing companion.
So rewarding.
They bring so much joy,
Yes.
laughter, and love into your life. It's incredible.
They sound like real characters.
They are. They really are. With that certain spark, it's hard to resist.
Well, I think we've covered a lot today. We've really explored the wire-haired dachshund,
From head to toe, I'd say. We've gone deep.
their history, their look, that big personality, all the care tips. Hopefully you're feeling a lot more informed now.
I think so. Like, you've got a good grasp on what these dogs are all about.
And if you're looking for a dog that's, small in size but big on personality with the dash of mischief, a whole lot of heart, they might just train you more than you train them.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to keep you on your toes, that's for sure. Challenge you in the best way possible.
I think that's what makes them so special, though, right? That bond you form with them.
Exactly. They're like your partner in crime, your little adventurer,
Yeah.
and a loyal companion all rolled into one.
All in that wiry package. So we've really explored these dogs today, their history, that unique look.
And that personality. Can't forget that.
Definitely not. Plus, we covered all those essential care tips. You should be feeling pretty informed now.
Yeah, you've got the info you need to decide if this is the breed for you. But, this is just the start.
What do you mean?
I mean, if you're seriously thinking about getting a wire-haired dachshund, you got to do your research.
Talk to breeders,
Definitely. Connect with owners, too. See what their experiences are like.
and maybe even spend some time with a few wire-haireds in person.
Absolutely. Get a feel for their energy, their temperament, see if it's a good fit.
That's great advice. And at the end of the day, trust your gut.
You'll know. You'll just know when you've found the right breed for you.
It's like that feeling you get.
Exactly. It's got to feel right.
Well, there you have it, everyone. Your deep dive into the world of the wire-haired dachshund.
Hope you enjoyed it.
I know I did. We learned a lot today. But like you said, this is just the beginning. Keep learning, keep exploring.
And most importantly, have fun with it. Finding your perfect dog, that's an adventure.
It really is. So until next time, keep diving deep.